Very a very warm welcome to everyone. The entire idea of the agenda of today's webinar is to discuss the changes in SAT due to the unfortunate situation right now, or the prevailing situation currently due to COVID-19. Right. So I'm Labhesh Loda. I'm the director of Anand Training Institute. We have a couple of branches in Pune, and we also have one more branch in Dubai. So agenda is we'll be discussing all the changes which we currently know, what are our predictions, how we are supposed to deal with it, and once this is discussed, then post that obviously we'll clear your doubts if in case you have anyone, right? All right. So as I discussed, the agenda for today's session is what exactly will change because of this situation. We know that uh, March, May, even the June SATs have been cancelled, right? So how that is going to change our future SAT options, its impact, how is that going to impact our chances of taking SATs, and whether SAT scores will be accepted or not, how that will affect admissions 2021, admissions in 2022, that is I'm talking about fall 21, fall 22, and how you are supposed to um, use this knowledge and build up our profile respectively, uh, to get least impacted by this current situation, right? To begin with, what are the changes? Firstly, we know that college board was very understanding in the because of this current situation, and due to the health concerns of many students from China, Singapore, Middle East regions, college board cancelled the March SAT. They cancelled the May SAT also. Even the June subject SAT, which was going to happen, is also being cancelled now. Because of this, we know that college board, for international students, college board accepts only 4 test dates, right? We generally have exams in October, December, um, March, and May, right? Now, because of this situation, and as because of the cancellations previously, college board has decided to accept SAT or conduct SAT every month starting from August, right? So we are going to have a test date in August. We'll have one more test in September. These are all newly added test date. We'll have one, the existing one in October. November is not for international students, and then we'll have December. So in this academic year, by the end of December, we'll have, if the governments allow, um, college board has opted to go for 4 SATs. Starting from August, we'll have one SAT on August 29. This August 29 SAT is a normal SAT also, and as well you can take a subject SAT as also in August month. In the month of September, subject tests are not allowed, right? So you have to plan accordingly, because on a normal day you can either take a subject test or you can take a normal SAT, right? So in this scenario, you have to make it a point that you have to prioritize accordingly. We would rather prefer going ahead, if in case you have not taken SATs till date, preferred is go ahead with a subject SAT in August, because that normal SAT you can anyways go ahead and take it in September as well, right? Because in a given attempt we can take either a subject SAT or a normal SAT 1. Also, on one particular test day we can take up to 3 subject SATs, right? So we can use the available dates accordingly, and build up our profile as much as possible. The higher, and the higher the score, the better it is. Agreed? So roughly on an average, if we need around 2.5-3 months to prepare for SAT, or for that matter, if you are in grade 11 or in grade 12 also preparing for a subject test, say for that matter SAT Math 2 will take around 2.5 months. So you have to just backtrack and figure out when exactly you should start your SAT preparation. In that case, technically you have the vacation right now, and or the vacation is about to start, so you can use the month of June, July, August completely, or rather, because anyways the test date is 29th of August, we almost get the entire month of August to prepare. So be very serious about taking the SATs, starting your preparation, worst case scenario, end of May or first week of June. All right, get rid of SAT, then you don't need to think about it, because we don't know how the situation is going to turn out over a period of time, right? Now, a very important question we've been asking, hounding College Board with, is because of the cancellations. There'll be so many students, specifically students who are applying in this October for fall 2021. These students who have not taken SAT, students who were in grade 12, grade 11, and now are in grade 12. These students, uh, because SAT is a mandate, and as these students haven't taken SAT, a test center, a normal test center, allows only a respective number of students. So we have roughly around 80 to 100 students, being depends on the test centers availability. So we have around 80 to 100 students in one test center. So the number of test takers are considerably higher this time, specifically because of the cancellations in March and May. So College Board is looking out for innovative ways so that the students who have missed out the SATs because of the situation will still have the opportunity to take the SAT, right? One of the most known, or rather most anticipated, um, event is that SAT will go online. SAT will be a online test like ACT, right? So in this case, again, as per the discussions, and this is still in discussions format, College Board hasn't officially announced whether the SAT will be online or not, but we are expecting few changes in the testing pattern. In that case, the essay, as it is optional, essay might be exempted completely. And again, this is a prediction. We are yet to see the announcement. As per the last conversation with College Board, all that we heard was by June end, College Board will come up with a, they call it, innovative solution, in which majority of the students will be able to take the tests without losing time, right? One of the predictions, as College Board did with APs, one of the prediction is also that SAT might be online, and you will be allowed, or you may be allowed, to take or conduct SAT with a proctor at home. It would be an online SAT to be conducted at home, exactly like GRE or GMATs. Right now, these are still in discussion formats. We are yet to receive official announcement for the same thing. Right, these are like predicted things, but we certainly should be expecting SAT to go online, not in August, maybe in December or next year. SAT is bound to go online, right? All right. Will there be exam pattern change? And majority of my students have been asking me this question again and again. Specifically students who have been enrolled for March 1, May, and they see these exemptions coming from different universities. We have to understand the bottom line. The most underlining fact here is SAT is a standardized test. So if they want to, what I mean by standardized test, it is not like our typical desi exams, which can change the exam pattern, like within a year, and with just 1 month of announcement, they change the exam pattern completely. We, as per the history, we know that when SAT wanted to move from 2400 score till 1600 score, they announced it almost 1.5 years ago. Because this situation, the coronavirus situation, is still developing, we do not anticipate any exam pattern change, as in the number of sections, whether the scoring will be out of 1600 or out of 2400 or something. These changes are not accepted because SAT is a standardized test. We have to be very sure, or rather be rest assured completely, we can absolutely rely on Khan Academy as a with respect to the exam pattern, right? Khan Academy always is the official representative of SAT or educator for SAT, completely free. So we can completely rely on that part as with respect to exam pattern. So we are certain that there would not be any exam pattern change in SAT. All right. Test centers, yes, and this is one of the positive news which we have right now. College board is looking out for many options to increase the number of test centers in individual cities. For that matter, um, for example, if Mumbai has only 4 test centers for SAT, College Board is tying up or is in communication with many more schools, or as a matter of fact, they have a data of individual schools, number of students appearing from individual different schools for SAT, and we are expecting that the number of test centers in a city will at least be doubled. If SAT does not go online, College Board is significantly going to increase the number of test centers taking SATs, right? So we have to be at least we have to be lucky. We are lucky in this scenario that we won't miss out the SAT, right? So just giving you a brief about what all changes we expect is we expect that SAT date. We know that SAT dates will be in August. We'll have SAT in August. We'll have SAT in September. In November, in October and December. November is not for international students. Um, and a quick thing to note is that in September we cannot take a subject SAT. Right now, next year in 2021, we'll have our exams as it is. We'll have it in March, May, October, and December. This is what is predicted, and this is what is officially being announced by College Board. Right? College Board is constantly keeping a tap on the current situation, and it will keep us updated on this scenario. By the end of the session, we'll also send you some email addresses so that you can subscribe to those things, and whenever there are these changes, we'll keep you updated or posted on what are the exact changes and how SAT is changing. Right? Can SAT go online? There is more than 70% chances that SAT will go online. Rest everything will remain same. The exam pattern as SAT is in 4 sections, like reading, writing, non-calc and calc, plus the essay is optional. Similarly, we expect the same. We expect the same thing here, right? Test centers. We anticipate the number of test centers to be doubled. A very important question: how are these changes going to impact the admissions, specifically for 2 category of students? A, students who are in grade 11 currently, means now they've moved to grade 12, or for that matter, students who are going to apply in fall 2021. B, students who are in grade 10 right now, and students who are going to apply in fall 2022 or for fall 2022. Now, uh, we have been getting news that SAT is going to be exempted for majority of the universities, or as a matter of fact, every day the university list is being updated where they're exempting. The universities are absolutely exempting SAT 1. Now, is it for all North American universities, or for that matter, all US universities are exempting SAT? Absolutely not. Right? There are some schools who are fundamentally in favor of SAT, right? So they are not in favor of letting go of SAT. SAT scores are a key indicator for them, A, to give a student an admit, and B, to give a student a scholarship, right? So it is very important for you to know that the SAT exemption is not for all universities. Now, which universities are letting go of SAT? Just a minute, I shall share you the list of universities. All right. There is one more change, that there are some universities who are not going to consider your SAT subject test score at all, even if you have taken SAT subject test beforehand. For example, MIT, and this is like tier 1 schools. MIT is absolutely exempting and not even going to bother about your SAT subject test score. Now, what I mean by that, even if you have taken SAT subject test and you have a considerably good score and whatever, they believe that they don't want any bias with respect to students who have not taken it, right? So you would not have any advantage of taking SAT subject test as opposed to students who have not taken it. Now, does that mean that we should not be looking at SAT subject test? Not really. This, we have to be very understanding here, or we have to be very clear on one thing, that these decisions have been just to avoid the negative impact on the students, uh, which come from most affected regions. For that matter, China, even for that matter, US. With respect to Indians, we need to have a very important, in case when you have the SAT, we don't want to be fall under a category where there are schools which are giving preference to students who have taken SAT subject test. So the better is first prioritize for your SAT 1 for obvious reasons, and then prioritize for your SAT 2. So general trend is people end up doing that only, right? if you are if you have anyways made up your mind that we are anyways going to go opt for SAT 1 and SAT 2 both, so we have to make it a point that we opt for SAT 2 in this case, because SAT 2 is being offered in August, provided you're enough prepared for that, right? Now, are the SAT subject tests cancelled? No, absolutely not. SAT subject tests are not cancelled. um, there have been universities which are not that keen for accepting SAT subject tests, but the entire idea of taking SAT subject test is to just let the universities know that we are good at those particular subjects, right? Specifically, if students are coming from CBSE board or ICSE board, uh, we need to, our curriculum is comparatively on the lower end as opposed to IGCSE curriculum or IB curriculum. So let's not get in that conversation right now. But one thing is for sure, that if in case you have SAT subject tests, if you take SAT subject tests and you have above 715 individual subjects, it builds up your profile significantly, or it lifts your profile significantly. So you obviously aim for above 750 or 700 at least in individual subject test. um, if you want to build your profile holistically, we would strongly recommend going ahead with SAT subject test, right? But the first preference would obviously be SAT 1, right? If SATs are exempted, let's say you are applying to a college in a university where SAT is exempted, and even though SAT 2 is not that considered that much. So what exactly university going to select you on? What is going to be the selection criteria, right? uh, Most important, or rather the most important criteria would be your curriculum score, your grade 9 score, the trajectory of your grade 9 score, grade 10 score, grade 11 score. If the grade 11 tests have not been conducted because of the coronavirus scenario, the predicted scores of your 12th grade would matter a lot. The trajectory must be increasing, and obviously, if in case it's not increasing, still you need to have justifying reasons for the same. If you have, whether you are a sports person or you are doing some extracurricular activities, for that matter, in this current situation, you have so many other interesting aspects to show that you are helping your society in some or the other way, right? So selection process will depend extensively on your curriculum score. Obviously, it would depend on your extracurricular activities. And what are these extracurricular activities? Whether you're a sportsman, you're a musician, apart from just your curriculum or just your studies, have you impacted the society in any particular way? So impact is the word here. So you have to make it a point that somewhere or the other, you can use this current situation, you can help. It can be as simple as helping your mates with finances, or it can be as simple as um, helping your cousins with studies, or the help starts as simple as from your home, right? So it is of importance that you maintain how you have impacted the society for that matter in this situation. All right, now as I mentioned, the first thing would be curriculum score, second thing would be your extracurricular activities. A very important portion that is going to significantly matter right now, specifically because students are anticipated to have around 2 to 3 months of non-schooling days, or we can call it a break. uh, your co-curricular activities. Now, what is the difference between a co-curricular activity and extracurricular activity? You need to know that co-curricular is like, let's say you want to be a computer engineer, right? Or the student wants to pursue computer engineering down the line. So it should not happen that the university thinks that computer engineering just popped up in his dream one day and next day he thought of being a computer engineer. But it should reflect from his profile that in the very first it was in budding stage, he picked up couple of online courses, let's say basics of Python or some programming languages on Coursera, Udemy, EDX, and there are many sources like that. So you have to pick up these uh, online courses. You have to have internships. Now when I say have to, it is advised to have these things, because currently we can use uh, the the time which we have in front of us, we can use it to build up our profile. And what I mean by building up our profile is picking up the courses which is kind of reflective of what your passion is. If you want to pick up chemical engineering, then you pick up an organic chemistry course from MIT. There are these many online courses which are absolutely free for that matter. Harvard has just recently, last month I think, opened up some 50 odd courses completely free, right? So we have to be just open about these things, pick up couple of courses, figure out whether this is really your passion or not, right? And in this process, if you pick up that subject really well, we can actually write a thesis about it or probably a blog about it, and that will significantly make an impact on your profile, right? You have to understand that your competition is not with the students who are kind of geeks or who are really good at studies. Right now your competition is with the students or your peers or your colleagues from different countries who are utilizing this time to the optimum level. Guys, I have a student who is packed his schedule in a school break for almost 18 hours. He's practicing hackathon. He's doing these courses from Arizona State University and these free courses from so many things. He has built up a chatbot for COVID updates and everything. So there are these students doing extraordinary work using this time to the best of their abilities. Let's do that. This time is very crucial. The higher you use this time productively, the more it is going to help your admissions. I'm not just talking about admissions, we are talking about scholarship, and scholarships will again matter a lot post this COVID recession in a way. What next? What if SAT is completely exempted? What if SAT score is not expected? As in, you don't need to take SAT to score, right? SAT subject tests. So how are you supposed to build up your profile? As I said, uh, as I listed it out, I'm going to revise this again. A, your curriculum score is going to matter. B, your extracurricular profile is going to matter. As in, apart from your studies, what else have you done with respect to building up your, how you have been developed as a human being aspect. We can talk about our co-curricular profile, as in things related to, we can have online courses, internships, probably jobs. There's internshala, you can pick up internships online. There's multiple things you can do. Again, if you can relate it anyway to this current scenario, or rather to this coronavirus scenario, that will have some significant impact, right? If not SAT, then what? I would strongly advise, or we have been advising our students from last almost 3 months now, uh, like never before, universities are going to rely on your normal curriculum score, your 12th predicted score. Universities will be, we have to be aware of the fact that the entire fall 2020 batch, the students who were the international students who were supposed to enter universities in September 2020 are might not receive the visas in time. Majority of the universities have gotten back that they are planning to conduct online classes in this scenario. Um, if online classes are conducted, there is a huge chance, and as per the polls and everything, we are predicting that parents are not too sure whether they want to send their kids in fall 20. What happens if these kids don't end up being in fall 20? There are two things. These students will go for deferral. If they do go for deferral, that as in, instead of going for fall 20, if they opt to go for fall 21, in that case, the competition of the number of students entering that particular university in September 21 is going to be significantly higher. We have to keep a point in mind that the most affected region is US itself. We have to also consider that US must prioritize their domestic students before or as against to the international students. We are only catering to the international numbers, guys. You have to understand the number of students being impacted because of this COVID situation in US. If those students, if those domestic students get a deferral or plan for a break, for a gap for this academic year, they will be joining universities in fall 21. In that case, your chances of getting into good universities or getting scholarships, you face a lot of competition, right? But you have to be aware of one thing, that your batch, that is I'm talking about a batch which will be applying for fall 21, is the most is going to be the most experimental batch. Now, why am I saying that? Because majority of the universities will not be looking at your SAT scores. They will be looking at your profile as a whole, right? So in that case, the onus really falls on you. You have to utilize this time as much as possible, and that will certainly create impact. What else will matter? As I said, our extracurricular activities, our curriculum score will certainly play a huge role. How can we help? Right now, Anant Training Institute or Anant Education, we are into profile building. We are into helping students for these tests, all the standardized tests, for that matter, SAT, GRE, GMAT, all these standardized tests. You can plain and simply write to us, write to this, send your CV, send your doubts on admissions@anand.com. You have our contact number here. We'll be happy to help you with a completely free profile evaluation. If you need any of test prep material for free, the complimentary test prep material, you can anytime just send us an email, and we'll get you subscribed to our preparation material, which is completely complimentary. Now we would honestly like to have doubts based on this current situation, how you can build up your profile. We would be happy to help you with the doubts. We are open for the doubts, guys. Please go ahead, shoot your doubts. Webinar, and we will be conducting a couple of more webinars like these. Thanks to HDFC Credila for organizing this webinar.